Hey guys, so this is my brief overview of my setup of the gap power gap generator replication, and I'm thinking that I'm starting with the coils. So I have 3 coils. I have 3 more empty cores. Coil number 1, 7.71 millimeter wire. It's 31.8 ohms. And it's 600 millihenry. My second coil is a split coil. Since I have 2 windings, I have one inner winding and one outer winding, so I can modulate if I want to connect them in series or if I want to try to just use one winding or even one winding as a pickup coil. This coil is 0.71 millimeter. The inner winding is 19.7 ohms. 32.1 millihenry. The outer winding is 19.1 ohm and 231 millihenry. And the total is 40.5 ohms and 688 millihenry. My third coil is what I call my low ohm coil. I've done some experiments with this, but this coil is so current thirsty, so I haven't used it that much. But it's 1.6 millimeter wire, 1.7 ohms, and 32.1 millihenry. All the magnets, except this one, has 3 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch, and 42 neodymium magnets. And the cores are equal in all coils. And they are from S355 steel, and they are 2.25 inch times 2.25 inches with a 6 millimeter hole in the middle to be able to screw them together with a bolt. My setup is 4 DC relays, solid state relays. I have step up booster modules to each relay, and this is because the voltage from the Raspberry Pi that I use as controller is too low to drive the relays, so I need to step it up to about 5 volts. They probably work a bit lower than that, but just to be sure. And if I connect them directly, if I connect the output from the Raspberry Pi to the relays directly, it doesn't really work. This is the input from the PSU, the power supply, or from the battery. It goes through 2 fuses. Only 1 fuse is really needed, but anyway. I have a small capacitor here, just to filter out. On the oscilloscope, it made sense. I have had more capacitors connected, but they didn't really help me. So from this, I actually make the polarity switch through the relays, so they are connected in a manner that here I can send pulses, and they are right now configured to have an on time of 1 millisecond and an off time of 3 milliseconds. Why I have that interval? Well, that's from the original author, Art Porter. On his website he uses that interval, so I use it as well. I have 3 diodes on each relay, which might help, but since there is reversed currency and reversed voltage going on, I'm not sure. I have blown quite a few of these relays, and I think it's because of the back surge from the coil that hits back, and it's really impossible to, at least as I know, to protect from the back surges. But I have done what I can, and they are on the specifications on the diodes are 1000 volts at 10 amps. So I have 3 on each. This is the full wave bridge rectifier, and supposedly the pulses go here to the coil, one of these connected to these wires, and the back pulse, the back EMF, will get rectified here, and these will go to the load through this switch that I just connected, to be able to just see what happens if I disconnect it and connect it. And so far I'm experimenting, but I wanted to show you guys how the coils are built, the specifications of the coils, the setup, and if you want to replicate this works. Art uses mechanical relays, and I have done the alternative version with solid relays, solid state relays. These are DC relays. They are rated for 5 to 200 volts DC. I have tried different sorts. It doesn't really matter. They blow if you do it in the wrong way. What else to say? Well, I think maybe that's enough. I have 2 halogen lights. I'm not sure if you can see them, like this, as a load, and I'm also experimenting with different loads. I have a Java program on the computer that drives the Raspberry Pi. It's really simple. I might show that in a different video if there's any kind of interest. And if you follow this, you will actually be able to replicate my setup. And yes, I think that's it. It's really simple, but it has taken me some time to get to this place, to find all the parts, and also the coils, to find wire and magnets. I had the magnets specially ordered from China as a custom design. This is actually a fishing magnet I bought. This is the first magnets I bought, since I didn't want to make a custom order. So they are the biggest fishing magnets I could find. And fishing magnets is something you connect to a line to sort of try to pick up things from the bottom of the lake or whatever. And I haven't compared them. It's magnets, and I can see the magnetic field shifting. The magnets are placed in opposite to each other, so the south is outwards on both sides. Yes, and it's really cool to see the magnetic field shift. I have this magnetic paper, a green paper, that you can really see what's going on. So yes, that's for the overview. And what follows will be experiments, I guess. So, thank you for watching.